house like Batman, zapping windows and mirrors with ammonia, buffing the furniture with Johnson's lavender wax, hosing down the bathrooms, making up beds, and feverishly wiping away fingerprints as if we were expecting a visit from the constabulary, instead of my in-laws. I met up with Mrs. Malloy at 4 o'clock in the wainscoted dining room. What a team! Smiling smugly, I faced her across the great divide of linen-clad table, set out with the Indian tree china and crystal that had belonged to Abigail, the former mistress of Merlin's court. My in-laws aren't due for several hours, and here we are, almost ready. Not so cocky, Mrs. H. Mrs. Malloy thrives on gloom and doom. Them candlesticks could do with a trimming. She eyed the pair as if they were a couple of naughty schoolboys. Hands on her stalwart hips, she looked the room up and down for all the world as if she were Lady Kitty Pomeroy, the terror of our little community, checking out the stalls at St Anselm's summer fete. Mrs M would lend character to any room. Her jet-black hair always shows 2 inches of white roots as part of her fashion statement, not because she is between dye jobs. Her rouge would appear to be applied with a trowel, her lipstick is a violent purple, and her eyes are done up like stained-glass windows. Since that memorable day when she took me on as a client, strictly on 6 months' approval, we have had our run-ins. The candles are fine. I adjusted the dripless beeswax in their pewter holders. And dinner is all set. The beef ragout is in the fridge, waiting to be heated up. The salad dressing is made, the endive rinsed, and the rolls rising for the 2nd time. What about the chocolate goop? Mrs M's damson smile assured me of her complete faith in my ability to flub dessert. The mousse is chilling in little glass dishes. What took the time was finding the baking chocolate. Some nameless person had stuck it on the top shelf of that cupboard, where I keep the aspirin and cough syrup. Think the silver could do with a buff-up? The secret of successful entertaining is to know when enough is enough, Mrs. Malloy. My voice was as crisp as the folds in the damask serviettes. I leaned against the sideboard, already groaning under the weight of enough silver chafing dishes to keep an industrious fence in business for a year. The mantelpiece clock does not need winding, the pictures do not need straightening, and Jonas does not need to be reminded to take a bath. Arms folded beneath bosoms, as always in danger of popping like a pair of overblown balloons, Mrs. Malloy pursed her butterfly lips and looked sad. Pride goes before a fall, Mrs. H. For heaven's sake! I laughed blithely. What are you trying to do? Put a curse on me? Don't have the knack! Mrs. M gave her organdy apron a twitch and assumed a modest mien. I leave that sort of thing to me former friend, Edna Pickle. Edna's great-great-grandma was a witch, and they do say that sort of thing crops up, like twins, every so many generations. What do you mean? I fastened on the juicy part of her statement. Former friend? You and Mrs. Pickle have been pals forever. You're always going in to see her at the vicarage on your way home from here. We've had words, she replied meaningfully. No, don't ask me any more, Mrs. H. Me lips is sealed. All right, I said. Go on. She let loose a bone-weary sigh. Force it out of me. Yesterday, Edna was telling me she had high hopes of winning the Martha. That's the trophy given at the summer fete, in honour of the woman who was always scrubbing the kitchen sink in the Bible. It goes to the person who comes in tops among the winners in the homemaking events. Jam making, marrow growing and all that nonsense. But you know that, Mrs. H. And when I answered, nice as you please, that I couldn't sit listening to that sort of talk, what with you being this year's chairwoman, Edna turned right nasty. What? Mrs. Pickle? I couldn't believe it. The woman never seemed to me to have enough energy to get worked up about anything. Whenever I went round to the vicarage, it invariably took her 2 hours to answer the door, and another 15 minutes to troop down the hall to the study to announce my arrival to her employer. I wasn't greatly surprised that Eudora Spike kept her on, because our deacon is an immeasurably warm-hearted woman. The wonder was that Mrs. Pickle also worked as a daily for several other people, including the...